Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you for showing me Romania being so kind and nice and gracious. We've all heard the AI myth that AI is going to write the next bestseller. You're going to push a button and out comes Harry Potter. But I can tell you that isn't going to happen. The reality is that there's no algorithm that can do it, and bestsellers come from people. AI can help, and what AI has done for us and what we've built our business on is the creative structure, the invisible scaffolding that is behind the scenes that authors never see. It ensures a great book is created, the author's vision is met, and it is well received by readers. But how did this happen? I have to tell you, I didn't expect to be here today, and if you would have talked to the Tim 10 years ago, he would have no idea. I started Izzard Ink because I couldn't find a job. I went through and applied for over 2,000 jobs. I talked to my wife and I said, okay, it's time to start a family. And I promised that one of us would be at home raising our kids. I worked as hard as I could, but that was me. Many of you in this room have seen my kids on phone calls. It very much is a family business. But when I started it, there was no capital, there was no investors. It was just me, and I started working on a book that I could do. It was called The Naked Communist, and it was a book that we could revitalize and get out there. A lot of constraints and a lot of problems I saw. I'm not an author. I don't come from publishing. That's not me. But I came from business, and I came from a family of people who enjoyed watching how business makes an impact on the lives. And over the next few years, we started to see books sell and sell and sell. And it was that point where the words of President Theodore Roosevelt rang true. He says, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming." It took years to really decide that I didn't want to sit on the sidelines anymore, that I wanted to make a difference, and that I wasn't alone. But there were people who stood behind me and beside me in that arena, and I couldn't believe who they are, and I am so grateful for it. We sat back and we went through our processes. Where's Iwana? Iwana? She helped with our processes. I was going to just call her out and thank her, because it was all early in the morning for me, where we would document all of our processes. And as I've had a chance, so one of the things I'm going to be doing at the end of October is leading small businesses in the U.S. in Washington, D.C., and creating policy for them. Small businesses in the U.S. is anything under 500 employees. And we argue a little bit about what's going to happen. But I had mindit. I had mindit behind me, helping me with my processes, understanding why we were doing it and how we were doing it. And it was with Irina in our first unit. We were great virtual friends and really appreciated it. But I made the decision after meeting you that I would own the system, that I would own the creative structure behind it, I would own the IP, and I would create a really great place for authors to be and create their book. But we couldn't just do it the normal publishing way. We found that there were some issues, there were some constraints that we had. And in publishing, a lot of it's, I'm the gatekeeper and you're an author and I'll tell you no, and I'm a literary genius and I'll just say, hey, that's not going to happen. But we wanted to think about it different. We wanted to think, how can the ordinary person write an extraordinary book? We have 8 billion people in this world, and everybody deserves to tell their story well. And I hope that over the coming years that we will be part of that, because it makes such a difference. And the key component to that wasn't what everyone else said. The key component was a manuscript assessment and action plan. We wanted to see how authors would take the feedback. We wanted to see what they would do. And they didn't know that it was partially us interviewing them as much as they were interviewing us. And it is our competitive advantage. And I'm telling you, it is really hard to scale the best editors, the best writing coaches. But we've come really close. The last 2 revisions have been just phenomenal. We have over 80% of our authors, and most of them are first-time authors, land in the top 10 to 15% of all literary reviews. And that's just incredible. I am so grateful for mindit and what we've done. Now, part of what we also build into our manuscript assessment is understanding humility. It's not about writing the best. It's about how do you take the feedback? What do you do? Do you have the humility to be grounded, honest, open to change? Are you curious? Curiosity trumps judgment. Empathy. We had mindit here. We understood with Ioana and the processes that we could then create the system around our customers and not the other way around. Most of our clients, all of our clients, really don't understand what we've built in the background. And we're very, very resilient. And it took me trying to understand that our moat wasn't 50-page contracts. I had to be humble enough, and I had to be curious enough to say, what if a manuscript assessment could be automated? These were all things that I had to change and go through as well. And I want to just share with you the impact that this has made. These are real people, real stories. I might be going to, I'll stop fighting. We'll go back to this one. Okay, let me tell you about Jeffrey Dunn. He's one of our authors, 41 years as a creative writing teacher. Pretty good. But he was dealing with something really tragic. His son committed suicide. And, Ioana's here. Thank you for your processes. Thank you. I just appreciate it. These are the people that you've helped. This is, Jeffrey. He asks about who's working with him and why he's there. Anyway, 41-year career, his son committed suicide, and he was getting to the point where he didn't know what he wanted to do or how to move on. And you've helped him. He's now created books. He's an award-winning author. But what I love about Jeffrey is he understands how to build his community. He understands the importance of creativity, where that goes. He's the first person to be at a farmer's market, talking, or at a library, building it. And I've seen Jeffrey go from, I didn't even know if he wanted to really be around, retirement was going to be rough, to going out, seeing the country, getting his books out there, really making a difference. And he has no idea that AI has helped as much as it has. This is Natalie Ryan. We first met as we were doing a coffee table book for a historic hotel that she actually vandalized as a child. So she would graffiti it, and then as things progressed, her brother actually owned the hotel. Wonderful lady, overcame a lot of tragedy. At the age of 16, she was hit by a drunk driver and in a wheelchair the rest of her life. But during this project that we were working with her, she was tragically murdered, and it was really sad. But you know what? Her legacy lives on, because the book that we've created is in our Library of Congress in the United States, which it will be forever. And that's how these people live. We all have those stories, and I cannot thank you enough for them for them in letting you tell the story. Back to the Naked Communist. You've helped us build the infrastructure to make that happen. It was mentioned at Charlie Kirk's funeral, and as we saw cells go up and sell thousands and thousands and thousands of them, I didn't have to worry. There was nothing I had to fulfill. I was able to sit back and reflect as a country, why are we headed this direction? Where are we going? And to sit back and say, maybe we need to think about things a little bit differently. These are real people, real outcomes, and I think we've said it best from everybody here that this is why we do AI. AI is not going to write the next bestseller, but it can ensure the voices of these two people will not vanish into silence. And that brings me back to Roosevelt's words, the credit belongs to the one in the arena, but no one truly stands there alone. I've had mindit behind me the entire way, working long hours, and thank you for helping me succeed. You guys believed when I questioned. You guys helped and did proof of concepts, and we're there. And now we have our last myth. We've long been told that efficiency makes you fragile, and cutting too close to the bone kills resilience. That used to be true, but now I think that's a myth. Izzard Ink isn't weaker because of AI, it's stronger. We're more adaptive, we're more resilient. Efficiency doesn't threaten resilience anymore. Done right, efficiency fuels resilience. So thank you for stepping into the arena with me. Thank you for being there by my side. And I can't thank Arena enough for what she's done. You're incredible.